नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धे भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Yes, can someone recollect anything that we saw last? We can form the link and continue. Yes, please. If the time is not sufficient for asking questions, you are most welcome to also send it on email anytime. I'll try to respond within 48 hours. Yes, please. Anybody, if you can form the link, anything that we saw last? Yes, anybody? Yes, Kalaji, to the rescue.
This
Yes,
is not
please.
about what we learned. Suddenly, I had normally we always begin with Ganesha something, and then how come we go straight into Saraswati Namastubhyam here?
Saraswati is the goddess of learning.
Yeah,
So
she is, but
Ganesha also it is.
usually we
Yeah,
always begin with Ganesha, right?
it is Shri
I
Ganesha
mean,
also
that's
being
what
one.
I
Okay,
heard
fine. Okay,
as a
Kalaji once
remover of all
uh,
obstacles.
we'll
You
have
always
a
begin with
okay,
I
fine.
don't know. I
Shri
just
Ganesha Namaha. Let us begin.
no, no,
Yes.
no. You may have your reasons, but I was just curious.
Generally, I just because once one participant had said you should not study Bhagavad Gita without doing the entire Gita Dhyana mantras. And that would take another 10-15 minutes off. So somebody said you must do some Shiva Japa also for studying the Gita. These are all understandings of different people. And so what I generally do is one of the Gita Dhyana mantra is there that is told. And one is Saraswati, I call it is basically for me a backup. I should get blessings from Saraswati to talk sense and not nonsense. So that is what I do. But there's no harm. Ganesh is
No, no,
also my
yes,
Aradhya.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
before starting any,
Fine, fine.
we
Why
always
not?
say,
Why not? Why not?
no, no,
Why not? Agreed.
isn't that what
Agreed.
normally we say?
Fine, Ji. Fine, fine. Yes,
No,
yes. He is there
no,
in
no,
this. Mind
no
is there.
objection, okay?
Yes,
Just
yes.
curious.
Fine, Ji. So we have done. Let us start. In Marathi, they say Sri Ganesha means Arambha only. So let us do our Sri Ganesha with a link of yesterday's session. Anybody?
Because yesterday, I mean, in
Yes, Ji.
writing also in Tamil, you do the Pillai Arshuri first before
Yes,
you start
yes,
any
yes.
writing.
Yes, Ji. Right.
We,
So
we
can I
Anybody?
talked
try?
about
Yes,
we
please.
talked about
Welcome.
karma,
Okay.
divine karma. If we do, then we don't
Hmm.
get sin. I mean,
Okay. Yes, we can be free of any sin, is what. If the karma is consciously done, it transcends ordinary actions and becomes divine action. Yes, Mitaji is adding something.
So he talked about the actions done, the difference between the actions done with in divine union and also renunciation. So he kind of said both are equally good, but if a superior path is there, it's the actions done with the union with God. So he
Yes,
brought out that he kind of merged both the paths, and he also talked about Shraddha and Ashraddha. And
yeah,
he said he didn't curse like you said. He just
yeah,
said that the people who don't follow the true knowledge may get off the path and will be lost in the doubts and all. But
yes,
he still didn't say that it was wrong. Even those people are on the path in a way. So that
yes,
was my understanding of the.
yes. So the doubts will destroy the person, isn't it? The skeptic is defeated by his own skepticism. That is the problem. The mind is plagued by 100,000 doubts. Yes, it is everywhere. No matter what action we are doing, it's better to be free of doubts because you go ahead, experience, and then get a clarity. You can be successful or you're not successful. Your action might be right or wrong. You will get a clarity of it eventually. But when you are filled with doubts, it makes a problem. And it is brilliant to if you are able to experience this the presence of a divinity in your life or in the universe or the existence of the divine and you are even able to go one more step and place your Shraddha in the divine. Again, this cannot be enforced. Nobody can enforce this. Shraddha has to develop naturally. But if it does happen, it's brilliant. It can take you ahead. Yes, Kalaji wants to add something. Yes,
I
please.
mean, whenever there's confusion, just offer it to the divine and proceed.
Yes, yes, offering to the divine. That's an important aspect. It allows you to keep certain things in abeyance. Keep continuing your action and don't be disheartened or disturbed. That is one thing. So we also saw some reference. Yes, Yatna ji is saying something. Yes, please. Yes, ji, you have unmuted? I guess not. Fine. So one more interesting thing that we saw was this Vyadha Gita's reference. Krishna says it is, if you look exactly at the shloka, which is fifth shloka, Yat Sankhya Prapyate Sthanam, Tadyogairapi Gamyate, Ekam Sankhyam Cha Yogam Cha, Yah Pashyati Saha Pashyati. The great Sankhyas, who are the Sankhyas? The ones who are practicing the Sankhya Yoga, who are trying to experience the oneness with the divine through a path of absolute renunciation. Well, whatever great realization they are receiving, the same can be achieved by any individual also. When the divine actions are done, when the actions are done in union with the divine, all actions are done in the union. That explains also, isn't it, why we have two paths? There are yogis who walk on the path of sannyasa. Can everybody walk on the path of sannyasa? Not possible, isn't it? The society has to function. Why have we got these different, we can say, varnashrama dharmas? What is the reason for this functioning of the society? All these, what we can say, are required. And same way, if we just ridicule and say all sannyasis are fools and they don't understand anything, that would be the most ignorant statement to make, because time and again, history of Bharat, so many sannyasis have led our country towards greater realizations, isn't it? Sometimes it's required. Somebody who is not in the loop of things, who is outside, can give a different perspective. The great yogis would sit meditating in a trance, receive higher wisdom. And what would they do with that wisdom? Would they keep it like the general public in a fixed deposit to grow? I want this wisdom to grow and not. They would share it with the world for Loka Sangraha, for betterment of the world. Natha Sampradaya, they went across Alak, Niranjan, Adesh of what? Adesh of the divine. After all the sadhana in the forest, they would go and interact with the villagers. Villagers would come, ask them their doubts. Because this is the paraspara bhava, where we don't create a divide, we don't reject, but we also understand Gita is teaching us something. There is something more than a material asceticism. We have to recognize divinity can be experienced in our works is a very big principle. Sri Aurobindo has very beautifully established it in his essays on the Gita. If we get the opportunity, if we have the patience and acumen to read Sri Aurobindo's words, it will be brilliant if you can just read that scripture, essays on the Gita. It talks about how you can transform your life into a divine life. And that is exactly what Krishna wanted our Arjuna to do. So let's continue. In this question, this line will keep coming. Yaha pashyati, saha pashyati. Meaning the person who can see will see, otherwise the person will remain ignorant. Because many times just having eyes does not guarantee that you can see, isn't it? A lot of times you're looking somewhere, but your attention is elsewhere. So what happens then? You don't realize it at all. And then there are some people who can see but choose to remain blind. What can you do? How can you make that person see? Because the person does not see. It's a matter of understanding. Somebody may look at the Gita. A participant shared her experience of studying the Gita after her husband passed away, but she got a chance only after her retirement. And she says that gave her so much solace, so much strength. And for every day, she says she's very busy. Earlier, she used to keep wanting to talk to children, and children are not talking, so she used to get disappointed. Now she says, I'm busy, I have my routine, don't disturb me, I'll call you when I'm free. How has this transformed? Well, she has got a perspective of life. Life did not immediately change completely. What it did was the perspective changed. But still, her mother still asks her, "What are you getting by reading Gita?" Because her mother does not like the Gita at all. But it's a matter of perspective. So, mother is not seeing the same truth what the daughter is seeing. Because it is all a matter of perspective, insight, realization has to come, but it comes to those only who seek. Those who are not cannot see. That is the truth. It's not just the physical sight that Krishna talks about. Elsewhere in the Gita, there is something higher than the physical sight also. A different drushti, divya drushti, or there's a nice word in Hindi, or drushtikon, your way of looking at things. That has to change, and then you can really can just experience the full richness of life. Like watching in standard definition and high definition. There's a difference, isn't it? It's something like that. Let's continue. Krishna says, what happens in the sixth shloka? When you realize this oneness in your actions, you are experiencing the same blissfulness. Well, sanyasastu mahabahu dukkhamaptum ayogataha yoga yukto munir brahma nachirenadhigacchati. It is difficult to achieve the state of renunciation without uniting with the divine in every action. For the wise sage who has attained this togetherness, the knowledge of Brahma, he can soon unearth and harness. I repeat this once more. And we just think about it once. It's very interesting. Krishna says here, he says, it is difficult to achieve the state of renunciation without uniting with the divine in every action. For the wise sage who has attained this togetherness, the knowledge of Brahma, he can soon unearth and harness. Munir Brahma, yoga yukto Munir Brahma, nachirena adhikachati. This yoga yukta. Yukta means what? Anybody?
Joined.
Joined, united. Yoga also means united, but yoked in yoga. Yoga yukta, you're performing in the state of yoga, meaning you are now connecting with a higher consciousness. Once you are connected with that higher consciousness, that same consciousness flows through you. What is that consciousness? That is the consciousness of the Brahman. When is this possible? To whom is it possible? Krishna says it is for that wise sage who has crossed over the Dvandva between the material and the spiritual, who has understood the real meaning of renunciation, which teaches us that you cannot even experience real renunciation without uniting with the divine in every action. Simple example. So many Commonwealth Games champions won medals, isn't it? Some missed out on the medals. Not everyone who participated got a medal. But does that mean they were less of a sports person? The outcome does not make they deny that truth, isn't it? So they can say, "Ki, I did not win the medal." Can I also say I also didn't win the Commonwealth medal this year? Yes or no? No, why not?
You didn't even try.
I didn't try, I didn't participate only in the games, isn't it? So there's no question of me saying that I did not get it. It is something like that. Who will get the authority to say I have now renounced my attachments? The one who has entered into the field of action only. Somebody who says it's like, oh yeah, it's raining outside. A friend just manages to come and says, I didn't get wet. And I'm sleeping on the sofa and I just yawn and say, yeah, I also didn't get wet. No difference at all. The one who does the action can claim to really experience true renunciation. And Krishna says true renunciation is when you have really let go, you're letting go of all your personal attachments, letting go of all your personal desires, letting go of all your biases for certain outcomes. You are letting go of everything and doing the action in full surrender of the divine. Then that is a divine action, and the sage who achieves it, who practices it, is worthy of attaining what is the Brahma Nirvana. He can unearth it, he can harness it. Sure that he wants to ask something. Yes, please.
Yeah, so when we talk of action, like we've earlier seen, it also includes inaction, right? Like everything, like we can't not act when we are not actually like physically acting, right? Like action
Yes.
involves
Act-
action is a very vast thing. Like,
Yes.
yeah, so,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
so while I'm reading this, without uniting with the divine in every action, what I am understanding is that whatever it is in the moment, in right in this moment, uh, I have to say yes to it. It is what it is. That comes to me like,
Yes, only. But
not to fight with this, like, like, okay, this is what it is. At least not to, like, feel why is it so? And
no,
then,
I can just tell, yes, yes,
yeah,
that is right in a way, but giving a blanket yes to things in a state, it can lead to difficulties. In sadhana, we
Can,
must learn to
can,
also reject
can we
anything
say
that
something?
lowers our consciousness.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it. But I think for me, uniting with the divine is not fighting with this moment and then doing what I want to. But
Okay.
uh, like, like not having this thing in the head that ye sahi hai, ye galat hai. It is
Huh.
like
Okay.
accepting it is what it
Yeah,
is, that
fine.
and I understand as uniting with the divine. So I don't know how
Yeah.
otherwise action to unite with the divine, I don't understand.
Let us take any single action. Do you do art? Do you
Yeah,
do artwork?
yeah.
Shwetaji, do you paint? You paint or
No, no, just doodles.
whatever? Oh, doodles. Okay. So something like is something when you do that, do you just there are doodles which are just scribblings also, and
Yeah.
there are sometimes when something very brilliant and creative comes out, isn't it?
Hmm.
When does that creativity flow? When you are
That,
connected with a higher consciousness.
yeah, but
And
for that, I need to just stop being, I have to surrender, right? Like this moment
No,
to
yes,
allow
yes.
something.
Look at
Yeah.
Arjuna's case now. We'll just look at in the light of the Gita because instead, just see here, Krishna and Arjuna. Is Arjuna in a state of oneness with the divine despite his doubts? He's not received the full insight, but he is connected, isn't it? That is why he's receiving it. And what about Krishna? Is Krishna unearthing the knowledge of the Brahman or he's already possessing it?
Another.
He is also himself unearthing. That's something very beautiful. Krishna says that he himself is now connecting with that Brahmic consciousness and delivering the sermon of the Gita at that particular moment. When Arjuna, after the battle, he asks Krishna, Krishna, tell me the Gita again. Krishna says, I can't tell you. That time I was yoga yukta. I was in that state. I was in that laya. That time it was a different connection. Every time it is going to be different. The Arjuna that was there before the battle and the Arjuna who is asking Krishna is going to be different. A
Hmm.
different flow is going to be there. So we can become dynamically also because that what Shwetaji is talking about is withdrawing and receiving only, but it can also be,
Equipoise. I'm talking
ha,
about
all right.
having
Let
equipoise.
us,
Ki, हाँ, मतलब,
yes. Yes, yes, this aspect of yoga yukta is we can become one with the divine, and for that we have to always aspire. Its aspiration is important. Let us hold it, and it will take time. No?
hmm.
Krishna himself says this, and then Arjuna receives the Gita again because Krishna says, "I'll give it to you." But this time the Gita is shorter than the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It's a different version. So when Krishna himself, the possessor of everything, is so humble enough to realize and tell that, "Hey, I am not going to repeat, I am going to speak what is going to come to me from the divine." How many times we consider it is my talent that is working, it is my skill that is working. These are the aspects which we have to keep quiet, keep aside.
Hmm.
And it's not something that you have to consciously do it, it happens. You just
Hmm.
have to have the opening for it. There's no like SOP, it can happen in a very, just sometimes in a yoga yukta state, there were yogis who would curse also. That would also become divine action. So it is a what we can say a link we have to establish. Kalaji wants to ask something. Yes, Ji.
I wanted to ask if I am hoping by the end of this, whatever Gita, even there should be a minuscule 0.00001% higher conscious. Is that again
No,
wrong? Is it selfishness again?
no,
Because
no,
I'm
no. It is wrong. It is nothing
expecting
wrong to
something.
aspire. Krishna is asking Arjuna, become Shrestha, become the warrior, best of the best, aspire to be. But you
So,
don't think that I have read so many shlokas now, so my consciousness has increased.
okay.
That is all we have. The day I take pride in something I know, that is the day knowledge will leave me. Vidya Vinayana Shobhate. Ma Saraswati will say, oh, this is intelligent, so I'll take my hand back. And then the exposure happens. So it is a dynamic thing, but this aspect of recognizing that you have to be at all times. That means the yuddha is going on forever. Life is going to be a battle. We might have calm moments, but remember it is a battle. The lull is there does not mean there is not going to be a storm. Anytime it can come. Only good thing is when you are connected with the divine, you don't care if it is raining or it is shining, whether there's a storm or anything else. So this aspect is something which we have to try. This is something we can think of, maybe experiencing. Krishna will share later on. Right now, Arjuna himself is like, Krishna, stop confusing me, don't tell me, give me something practical. Krishna is going to teach meditation techniques also later on. Let's continue. Yoga Yukto, this concept of becoming one is further highlighted by Krishna. He says, Yoga Yukto Vishuddhatma, Vijitatma, Jitendriyaha, Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma, Kurvannapi, Nalipte. I repeat, Yoga Yukto Vishuddhatma, Vijitatma, Jitendriyaha, Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma, Kurvannapi, Nalipte. That purest soul who in yoga engages, having gained victory over his six senses, in whose self the realization of every being is found. His actions are liberated, for by work he is not bound. I repeat once more, the purest soul who in yoga engages, having gained victory over his six senses, in whose self the realization of every being is found. His actions are liberated, for by work he is not bound. Such a person who is engaging in this yoga sadhana, such a person who has attained a victory over the senses. Do we have examples of people who have gained victory over the senses? Anybody? It's nice to see some examples, isn't it? Anyone?
Janak.
Okay, Janaka Raja. Yes, Raja Janaka was a, you can say, perfect example of a Vairagi and also a yogi, but also a Raja. Yes. Anybody else? Shobhaji? Yeah?
Ramana Maharshi.
Okay, Ramana Maharshi, these followers have understood, and we have seen stories of Ramana Maharshi being operated without anesthesia. This is impossible unless somebody has got such great control over the Indriyas. Vijiji?
Krishna himself.
Yes? Okay, Krishna himself. Yes, absolutely. Anybody else?
Buddha.
Okay, Buddha, Sri Aurobindo. So it's like there are so many such awakened seers. That is why they're respected, isn't it? Tulsi Das, Kabir Das, Ram Das, all these Dases are, they are not slaves of the senses, they are the masters of the senses, and they have understood that the way they can master the senses is by becoming the Dasa of the divine. It's a very simple way. Greatest Bhakta is also the smartest Bhakta. Example for us is Hanuman only. He is the one. Manojavamma Rututulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtham. He is a Jitendra and he is also a Varishtha among the Buddhimans. Among the wisest, he is the wise. Probably he is wise because he has learned the art of surrender, isn't it? He has learned the art of becoming the Jitendra just by surrendering to the divine. What was his superpower? After losing all his siddhis, it was just the Nama Japa, Nama Smarana. Namasmarana gave him everything else. What was lost came back to him. That was again by control of the senses only. So this is something which is essential, which is important. So here, this person, he has gained complete mastery over the senses. And that such a person gets a universal realization. They know, they get the understanding, they get the pulse of the universe through their connection with the divine. It is very beautiful how Sri Aurobindo has said, to be a servant of God is good, to be a slave is better. What's the difference between a servant of God and a slave of God?
The slave is owned by the employer.
Owned completely, isn't it? Servant is offering service, some service. But the slave has just given everything. And this is not a slave of a human being. Nobody should do slavery of any human being, no matter what position we are in. But for the divine, if we can realize that, if we can make this our ambition also, it's a brilliant thing to aspire for. Let me become a slave of the divine. Let the divine will be done. Let me become the instrument of the divine will. What happens then? You get that connection which will take you. Because the divine network is everywhere, isn't it? Or there are only some Wi-Fi hotspots of the divine network in Bharat only? Or is it across the world? It's across the world. Swami Vivekananda did not know how is he going to fare in America when he went there. There also, what experiences he got? He got different experiences, but he was connected with the divine, and that only inspired him. My brothers and sisters of America, and that line became legendary. Everybody stood up because that was the universal perspective which comes to a divine seeker, a follower of the divine. Put the seeker of the divine, put the slave of the divine in any environment, in any place. He will get the direction, he will get the wisdom. That is what we can see here. And such a person is always liberated because he's not bound by actions, no works, nothing. You can't bribe such a person with rewards. You can't bribe that person with accolades, some awards, or nothing of that sort. That individual is free to serve the divine only and nobody else. Let's continue. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyate tattvavit pashyan shrinvan sprishan jagran ashnan gachan swapan shvasan. The knower of the true principles of all existence knows that he is not the cause of his subsistence, nor is he performing the acts of seeing, hearing, touching, or smelling, nor the actions of eating, moving, sleeping, or even breathing. I'll just repeat this once more. It's interesting. The knower of the true principles of all existence knows that he is not the cause of his subsistence, nor is he performing the acts of seeing, hearing, touching, or smelling, nor the actions of eating, moving, sleeping, or even breathing. This is a tattva, a truth which can be understood by a person who has that insight. He says, I am not existing because of myself. How many of us are existing only because of ourselves? Anybody? No. Some people say, I am a self-made person. Yeah, you are self-made. Absolutely. No doubts about that. But again, are you completely independent of everybody? No, it's not. There's nobody in the world like that. Not because this is how our life is. Forget so many other people. Look at ourselves. Am I breathing consciously or it's happening on its own? It's happening on its own with action, and yet that is the cause of my subsistence only. No, suddenly my lungs say, "Boss, aaj zyada ho gaya, enough." What's going to happen? Nothing. Forget all poetry, all philosophy, everything will go away because this is the action which is keeping me alive. Same way, my indriyas, my eyes, my ears, what I touch, what I feel, when I sleep, every action that is keeping me alive, but I am not directly responsible. I'm not the cause, isn't it? I'm maybe an effect of so many factors, but I am not the cause. That is an understanding which is very important. A young Adi Shankaracharya had gone in search of his guru. He did not know where his guru would be, how he is going to find. But as he went on the path, he was stopped by a person. A reverent soul stopped him and asked him, "Who are you?" And this young boy, I think he was 8 years old, if I'm not mistaken, is just when somebody asks you, "Who are you?" What do you say? My name is this. I am from this village, or I am from this school. If you're a small child, or if you're big, I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor, I'm a scientist, whatever ideas that we have. I work for this organization. If this organization has a great name, people like to promote that. Ki, I am this, I am that. But these are all our IDs, isn't it? It's not really the true identification of who we are. Say I am an employee of an organization. I am an employee today. Tomorrow, if I am removed from that organization, will I cease to exist? I have something. Say I am seeing things, I have good eyes. Tomorrow, if my eyes are gouged, removed, will I cease to exist? I will exist. Maybe I'll have difficulty, I'll not be able to see. Same with my ears. So all these are just outer factors. These are outer facets of my existence. I am something which is more. And this young boy, Adi Shankaracharya, quickly composed a beautiful Sanskrit, what we can say, a shatakam called Atma Shatakam or Nirvana Shatakam. It is so beautiful. He says, Mano buddhi hankara chittani naham nacha shrotra jive nacha grana netre. He goes on so beautifully. He says, Name mrityu shanka, name jati bhedaha, pita naiva me naiva, mata na janma, na bandhur na mitram, gurur naiva shishya. So I don't have any such outer aspects. I am not, I have no friends, I have nothing, I am that existence. What is that existence? And that is all how he ends every verse of that Shatakam. Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. Look at that beautiful understanding. Little did he know he is talking to his own guru. And before reaching his guru, only he has understood this much. Look at that awakening at such a young age, a young boy is able to experience. These are examples of awakened souls. They are all born with a purpose. Actually, every soul is born with a purpose. We need to figure it out. When do we figure it out? It is not dependent on our outer circumstance. It is upon our will and our aspiration. It decides it can happen anytime. There is no late or early. It happens precisely when our soul is ready. And this is the identification. I am the divine consciousness, which is, it is like we say, I'm getting a spiritual experience. It's actually a very funny thing to say. We are actually spiritual beings having a human experience, it is said. Originally, we are adhyatmic only. We are going through experiences of humanity, but there is something. What is our core? That is something which cannot be thought of unless you try to take a step inwards. That is why a withdrawal is required. Even a lion that moves forward takes a few steps back and looks back at the track, isn't it? After walking a few steps. In Marathi, there's a beautiful word for this called Simhavalokana. The avalokan done by a simha. Means after walking few steps, okay, this is the path I have covered. Something like that at times we have to, otherwise we get in such a rush that life quickly passes and we don't realize how fast it is passing. For that, we have to recognize that I am not the center of the universe. Will the universe function without me? Yes, I would not want it to. I would want to be the most important being in the universe, but I am still a part of this universe, which is actually having some agenda which I have not yet fully discovered. I better discover it quickly and let me identify my role in it. But that is the principle. Krishna goes on, he says, Pralapan Visrajan Grinan Unmishan Nimishan Napi Indriyani Indriyartheshu Vartanta iti dharayan. Neither in the physical acts of speaking or adjusting, nor in the involuntary acts of the eyes opening or closing. He who knows that in these actions it isn't he who is acting and understands that his senses are but merely reacting. I repeat once more. Neither in the physical acts of speaking or adjusting, nor in the involuntary acts of the eyes opening or closing. For he knows that in these actions it isn't he who is acting, and understands that his senses are but merely reacting. This is a simple thing. That in all my actions, my eyes involuntarily open and close, isn't it? I don't really have a control over it. It is my senses that are working. The senses are giving me an experience. And I must understand that I am a little more than my senses. I'm not just defined by my senses. A friend of mine, she cannot see, but she's one of very good journalist. She doesn't need to see at all. When I first got introduced, it was just over a discussion on the phone. I did not realize also this individual cannot see as she was talking about the trees, the birds, and so I was like, what a beautiful visualization she must be experiencing and enjoying. Only later I learned that this is an individual who cannot see. But that does not mean she's not seeing life in a very different perspective. She is experiencing what is in life. That is important. So somebody must understand that. Everybody must understand that actually. It is that we aren't just acting, we are reacting. Somebody pushes us, we get disturbed. Somebody says something, we immediately react. I think that is not required if we are able to move one step backward. You will be able to intervene when you have to, not just be reactionary, because that is normal, no? You go in those buses, say if you go in any crowded bus, what's going to happen? Will somebody not push? And it's such a normal thing that because everybody becomes Siddha when they go in these buses or trains, no? In the metros, the crowded ones especially. You automatically become Siddha because somebody is going to push you. And if you ask, तूने धक्का क्यों दिया? The other person, तूने क्यों लिया? That is the answer. No logic. You cannot expect anything else. But instead, you learn to protect yourself, you move around. Well, isn't that life also? We will have to understand that, not immediately always react on every sense-based input. I heard something that caused me palpitation, so I went to the psychiatrist and he gave me the medication. Why? I can hear something and this is not good. It's all right. I can accept it's not good and move on. Or I saw somebody, I saw my friend with another person. How dare this person meet? It's all right. I saw the truth. Now, what more can I do? I accept it and move on. Why do I get so disturbed with so many things? My words, I spoke this, that person spoke this. All these factors of reactions are, if we can go out of it. And the one way to go out of it is trying to connect yourself with the inner divinity. स्वात्मा रामोऽहं भूमा परमसुखी स्वेन स्वस्मिन् स्वयं ब्रह्म स्वे महिम्नि स्वानुभूतम्. It's like I am Brahma self that is there inside of me. Let me connect with that, and then I will find myself. I'm a little beyond all of this. This understanding must come, but it has to be got as a realization, not just some mental suggestions. For that, experiences are there. World is going to keep throwing experiences at us. It will come to us eventually. If we decide to open ourselves, we will get the experience. Yes, Vijayji.
I heard somebody saying that
Hmm.
it is not me who should think that I am one with God, but it is the God in me who should realize that I am God.
Yes, yes, yes. Because
Just
many
that
times
knowledge
we,
is not enough. Yeah.
yes, 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 yes. And it's like the very fact, how many of us can, hit our chest and say confidently that there is divine inside of me? Many of us, no, he's not inside of me. I'm not
We
divine at all.
forget.
Vijayji is saying, yes,
Yeah,
ji?
we forget so many times. We
Yes,
forget about.
yes. That is what is the Vismruti of Maya, no? We have to lose that and probably it will come to us. Kalaji, yes, please.
We know, but to activate it, it's
Uh,
next to impossible.
Not next to impossible. So many yogis have shown it's very much possible. We just have to try. Probably we'll wait, it will come to us. And experiences will come. We just have to be open enough to
Ordinary
them.
human. I'm not talking about yogi.
Every yogi was an ordinary person. Every yogi, because they became yogi, people started thinking they are aliens and they got extraordinary gifts and everything. Again, the example of, we can say, Giri. Giri, who was a seeker, a follower of Shankaracharya, a student of Shankaracharya, sincere student, A lot of the other extraordinary students felt he's too ordinary to have any special quality. Nothing will work for him. He is not very smart. He's not got such spiritual awakenings. He has not got experiences. He has not got talent. He's not got memory. X, Y, Z. So many such things would have been thought about him. But with Krupa, our Giri suddenly, in one fine moment, becomes Totakacharya. He composes in front of his Guru only on the spot a recitation of the stuti of the Guru Pungava Pungava Ketanate. He goes on. It's like so beautiful. If you just study the Totakashtakam, that's a very beautiful Ashtakam in Totaka meter by by a Giri who later on became a an Acharya. He became the Mathadipati. Totakacharya became his name by his actions. Valya we heard, isn't it? Valya the hunter becoming Valmiki. Transformation is possible with that knowledge. The fire has to burn. We, at least for the fire to burn, we should not deny the possibility of it inside of us. First thing is to accept it. Next is later. I remember once I really wanted to go to the Himalayas. I could not go till even now I've not technically gone to the Himalayas, but at least I've seen the Himalayas from close. But what can I do while I was working? And I was almost 10 years ago. I thought, let us imagine where I am, and this Himalaya is here only, and let us meditate. So I was talking about this Atma Shatakam. I thought, let us meditate on this. What was my Himalaya? I decided to climb on the compound wall of a park where I had gone for a walk. So I was like, let us just, because I'm very busy, hardly getting time. I thought, now is the time, now is the divine moment. I have to get the realization. And there I sat on that and I started meditating. Within 2 minutes, the security guard got me down, crashing down with all the ahankar of what divinity has brought me down. And that was the beautiful experience of ego inside of me when this person is telling me, and the way he insulted me while bringing me down. I was like, Katham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, what is this Brahmasmi? You're not letting me sit in one place to just think of the divine. Well, this is the thing of our Srishti. We have challenges across our world, across us. Every day you decide to do something auspicious, 10 inauspicious things may happen around you. But in spite of those things, if you still head on forward, it might actually help us get a realization. It is possible. It is possible to everybody. That's what Krishna is continuously telling an Arjuna, even in this battlefield. Arjuna, everything is lost, you think so. Time is too late. Everything is past. But it's not, is what Krishna is saying. Let us see, though, if it happens. But we must have the aspiration. Without aspiration, nothing will come. It's like the fire is only not burning, then where will light come from? That is, fire is there, then there is going to be light. If that is not there, that happens also sometimes in our own nature. There is a tendency, we will understand it. We are also not at fault for that. It is the tamas guna. The three gunas are being told. That tamasic guna comes in and tells us, no, no, today is Monday. Monday morning, don't have to wake up early. Let's go a little bit later to work. Like that, in realizations also it comes. I am not divine at all. Maybe next birth only I will get realization, or maybe 100 births later. Nothing of that sort. It can happen, it's up to us. So let us continue. Krishna goes on. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate nasa papena padma patram vivambhasa. Yes, this is the shloka. I thought we had covered it, so I was not sure. It's here. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate nasa papena padmapatram mevambhasa. A beautiful imagery is put forward by Krishna to us. Padmapatra, the lotus leaf. Before we look at the shloka only, can somebody tell me what do you know about the lotus leaf? Something about it.
The lotus always grows in the muddy water,
Okay, okay.
and it doesn't actually get affected by its surroundings. So, whatever, it'll have its own righteous path in
Okay.
order to get to the, it will not be affected, and will have the straight focus on where it wants to get to.
Yes, okay. Yes, Artiji has said about the Padma or the lotus. The lotus grows only in the muck, isn't it? Only when in the dirty water you will see a beautiful white lotus or a pink lotus blossoming. A beautiful, a beautiful imagery, just about how even in the difficult situations also the growth towards divinity is possible. But here specifically, Krishna has not talked about lotus only, he's talked about the lotus leaf. Anybody? Anything about the lotus leaf?
Water just rolls off.
Yeah, water, you drop few droplets of water, they don't cling only, it's like they're like pearls. They just roll because you
They
see,
are
where
wax
is the
coated,
lot?
no? Leaves
Yes,
are wax coated.
yes, the
Means
leaves are wax coated,
wax
indeed.
coated.
So it is, isn't it so interesting? It is in water, but
Yes,
its surface cannot be wet by water.
yes.
What a
Only the
beautiful,
droplets.
yes, yes, the droplet just, it does not stick
Droplets.
at all. It cannot stick
Yes,
on the leaf.
stick
And
on
this
the
is in nature only, nature. It is not like man has produced something. It is Prakriti's creation. Krishna is
mm.
giving the same example. He says, think
And
about the
it is
lotus.
floating on the water upside of the water
Yes,
only. No? It
yes, yes.
doesn't
It is growing from the water, but it floats above the water and no water
above the
reside. Yes, yes.
yes.
Let us see why Krishna has invoked this example of this imagery for us. One who consecrates to the Brahman his every action and performs them in a state of renunciation. No sin can ever pollute his immaculate belief, just as the droplets of water cling not to a lotus's leaf. I repeat once more. One who consecrates to the Brahman his every action and performs them in a state of renunciation. No sin can ever pollute his immaculate belief, just as the droplets of water cling not to a lotus's leaf. This is a very beautiful principle here. Just one was we saw the principle of offering to the divine. Another was remembering the divine. Now is a wonderful thing about consecrating an action to the divine. You consecrate it to the Brahman. Perform every act, have all the actions if they are done in a state of renunciation. He says you don't have to worry about Papa. In Arjuna's case, he has to just consecrate himself to the divine, isn't it? This is the moment which I have been put into. It was not by my own choice. It was a circumstance that has come up. It's an unfavorable circumstance. It's a difficult circumstance. It is a circumstance where people would say, I am responsible for the death of my own elders. This is a very difficult experience to have for anybody. And yet, we see here Arjuna, he is now getting disturbed because he is now not recognizing that I have to just be the person, you can say an instrument of the divine. In this moment, what can I do? Let me offer everything. I'm an archer. I'm a kshatriya. I can do this role well. I may not like the situation, but I offer it all to the divine. I will be at peace then, isn't it? Only then. That is what he's saying, because then the mind is free when it is offered. Nothing will pollute the belief, because the individual is now in a state of, it's a different state of consciousness. When you are offering, when you offer something to your most beloved person, you're cooking something. When you offer it, it becomes more tasty. How many of us have experienced that? Yes. Why is that? Anybody?
Because
We are
the
offering with the love and
Yes.
if we are offering with the love and our
Yes, we offer with love, isn't it? And it's not for
yes,
some
yes,
our own self. It becomes a very different action. It becomes an action which is
yes,
transcending ordinary action. It's the
yes,
same thing. It's like when I used to be at our unit alone cooking for myself. I remember I used to put one potato inside the cooker with rice and little bit of dal and salt and nothing else. But if my guru is coming now after marriage, if my wife is making, I have to cook something. That time I'm making all the elaborate preparation because I feel the joy in offering. Because if you don't, if the joy, the love, this has to come into our action. But that's a wrong thing, which I was not offering it to myself also. I should go into the state of like Brahmarpanam, Brahmavir Brahmagnav. That was resulting in health problems also when I'm not looking at the food that I am eating. So I have a duty. This body is not mine, isn't it? It is given to me by the divine. I'm what we can say like a freeloader. I'm just saying I'm just using this. So I have to take care. I have a responsibility towards myself. So I have to offer the best food to me, best thoughts for my mind, best thoughts like individual level also, outside also. It is possible only when we recognize that we are nimittas and let us offer. When we do that, Krishna says you don't have to worry about what papa, what punya, what guilt are you having, Arjuna, in your head. Guru Hatya, Mitra Droha, Kulakshaya, none of these count. You have got complete immunity because you are now offering to the divine only. Nothing of this. You are not going to. Anybody is answerable, it is the divine now, not you. That bhava enters into that person. Krishna goes on. Kayena manasa buddhya kaivaler indriyairapi. Sorry, Kevalair Indriyarapi. I repeat once more, sorry. Kayena Manasa Buddhya Kevalair Indriyairapi. Yoginaha Karma Kurvanti Sangam Tyaktva Atmashuddhaye. By their bodies, mind, intellect, or senses, they function and consider not any of them as their own. These awakened yogis, they function, they use their body, they use their mind, they use their intellect, but they don't consider it as their own. For them, a perfect detachment is known, and so they engage in the process of self purification. Atma Shuddhi takes place. Is there a limit to inner purification? It's not actually. Once we realize the need, then we start becoming better and better. It's a natural thing, but consciousness has to come. It's like you're sitting in a room. If all the pictures are a little tilted and you're really unconscious, what will you will not be worried at all, no? What picture is there, not there, I don't care. But now you're conscious, so you say, okay, look, that particular picture is still a little tilted. No, no, why should that harmony be destroyed? Or why should the harmony be spoiled? Let me make it right. I'm just sitting here. I have time. Let me do something constructive. Let me do something better. Why not? I'll just arrange these things around me. All these things come into an individual who is seeking to better oneself, to get the experience, and that takes a person higher. Shwetaji wants to say something, is it?
Yeah, I feel when you actually aspire and like try to do better consciously, uh, I feel like something you offer and understand and offer it into the fire, and then you see so much more. ऐसे लगता है ये तो पता भी नहीं था, ये भी है अंदर, मतलब कितने जन्मों का है, ऐसे लगता है कि you never thought also these things, these emotions or, like thoughts would be in your heart. From there
Yes.
all, once you like ignite that light, I feel things just come up and you have to just keep offering, keep offering. It feels
Yes,
like
yes.
never ending, like you said,
It gives a
like,
different type of joy also, and it what we say the process of self-purification takes place. And this is a very interesting concept of not considering any of these mind, body, intellect as our own. This allows you to be totally detached. I'm Tismar Khan because I have such a great memory. No, I am nobody. Just because I have some memory does not mean this happens because a lot of time in schools, no, our education system in India rewards memory, no? Those who can rote, learn, and they score well, very much. And so, man, schools also want children who are going to fit to their mold and who are able to, exactly reproduce what is there, and they are going to get high marks. So the children get a lot of, those who are able to memorize are given a lot of importance. So then they are promoted a lot. And so they also start thinking they are really greatest. But then when they afterwards go to a college or go to another country or somewhere else in a different system, and they realize, why is it that I am not? Because their ahankar enters into an individual. Ki, I am so great. I am much better than everybody. I am so. Like a friend of mine started ridiculing all the teachers that he learned from. Now you're just ridiculing your entire source. He said everybody was pointless. They didn't have any other better thing to do in life. That's why they were doing this. They were all failures of society. That's why they were my teachers. What will you learn from that? Nothing will come from this attitude at all. And it just speaks of one's personal ahankar. That comes because if a mind is more developed, suddenly I can visualize the universe with my mind. I can visualize a better universe with my mind, is what the individual thinks. Same with the intellect. But the yogi understands, it's detached. He says, all right, this faculty is there. It's still a faculty which is not mine. It's a God-given faculty. I will treat it like that. It's like if a friend gives you a car, what do? I'm going out of town, just look at this car. What will you do? Chalo, let's go for a road trip or let's go for a race. Do you do that or what do you do with that vehicle? You actually take extra care कि hey Bhagwan, not a scratch should come. This person will again complain to me कि what is this? This is not mine. I don't want anybody to tell me because when you don't realize you are the owner, you are a little more careful, isn't it? Same thing you recognize with your body, recognize with your life. I have been given this life by the divine, so I don't own it. Let me ensure I get good experience. Anup Jalota had made a beautiful, he had sung a very beautiful song, which was a bhajan about how Jhini Re Jhini. I'll try to see if I find it. Chadariya. It's like this. He talks, I think Shwetaji is aware of it, is it? Yeah, if you would like to share something about it.
No,
Anything.
but I have like just heard this, like
Yes, so
Chadariya
he talks
Jhini Re
about it's
Jhini.
like this life, this body is like a beautiful blanket that has been given. It has been stitched nicely and given. What have I done with it? I have kept it carefully. What has come to me, I'm giving it back to the owner. When I give it back, I'll give it just as it is, without any damages, without anything. That is the attitude that a seeker must have. If we have that, life becomes a little bit more easier. You're out of all the unnecessary petty circles of ego, petty circles of politics. All those things don't trouble you anymore because you are now in a different game. It doesn't mean you are not involved in anything, but the rules are now different. Principles are not just, we can say how we talk about classical physics and quantum physics. Rules are different, isn't it? It is something like that. This is metaphysics of Krishna. When metaphysics of Krishna starts working in our life, the game changes completely. And for that, first thing we have to realize is I am not the central doer. Things are happening through me. I just make myself more what we call aligned, isn't it? That is what we saw about Brahma, Nirvana, or how one can become Yoga Yukta, or one person can become one with the divine. It's like aligning ourselves with that divine consciousness. When my mother had told this to me once, she had talked about, she used to read a lot about Sri Aurobindo when I was in college, and nothing, everything would go over my head. And one day she just told me I was preparing for my higher studies. I had planned to go abroad for my master's. And I was not successful for some reason. Because parents didn't want me to go out was a different story. So I had to do on my own. But wherever I was touching, I had an opposite of Midas touch. Grades are good, yet this college is rejecting. I was not understanding. And my mother suddenly said one very different line to me. And that line really hit me a lot. She said, when your will and God's will doesn't match, you have to struggle. I was so annoyed. I was like, what on earth is God's problem with my higher studies? Why should I not go for higher studies? Or what is God's wish? I didn't really understand that, and that was creating a lot of frustration. But later on, as with some years, a decade later, maybe 15 years later, I can understand that yes, sometimes there is a cosmic will. We just have to, if we align to that cosmic will, things will go ahead. We don't have to, it's not that we should not have aspiration. We should not, we can have 100 aspirations, but let us try to align with the divine will. That understanding, when it comes, it's a very brilliant one. And here, Krishna is saying this that they have understood a perfect detachment. Perfect detachment is known to such people, and that is why they engage continuously in the process of self purification. It's like they're sharpening their network signals. They want it to become more and more clear. They're not happy with just say this particular speed. They say, I want the next level, I want the next. They keep trying, and that is there in their heart. When is it? All times. Chit Kalyanam, Hridaya Nityam. Eternally, my inner purification must take place. Everything I do, I'll do it for the divine. I will try to aspire to rise. That is what the yogi does. We will look at one more shloka before the admin tells me. Yes, 12th shloka. Yuktaha karma phalam tyaktva शान्तिमाप्नोति नैष्टिकीम् अयुक्तः कामकारेण फले सक्तो निबध्यते. So it is interesting how again and again Krishna is talking about the principle of becoming one, yoked in the divine, yoked with the divine, becoming connected with the divine. युक्तः कर्मफलं त्यक्त्वा शान्तिमाप्नोति नैष्टिकीम् अयुक्तः कामकारेण फले सक्तो निबध्यते. By giving up all desires for the outcomes of actions, the zenith of peace a soul can attain certainly. But those bound by the desires of action live uncertainly, obsessed with phantom fruits and their material attractions. This is a very interesting principle. Giving up all desires of outcomes of actions, the zenith of peace a soul can attain certainly. If I give up my desires for certain outcomes, which I consider favorable, only those, I just give it up completely, what's going to happen? I can become peaceful. I do something for a friend. Should I expect praise from that friend? No, because it will not come and then it will become more irritating. I did so much for this person, still he does not to give me. I have done this. This feeling comes, isn't it? I remember a sister of mine had come and I cooked her a very nice dish. And I wanted her to appreciate it because she had made fun of me that I can't cook. So I just made a very nice dish. And I was like, now let us see how she is going to say, deny the dish is very good and she cannot say no. Somehow she understood that I'm expecting that praise. But after 5 years also, if I ask about the dish, she says no. She does not. She says, I'll not tell you anything. I'm not going to tell you. Look at me. I am having this attachment to expectation and outcome because I feel it is nyaya, it is just, it has to be given. But that is again my binding, isn't it, which I've created. I am losing peace over not getting appreciation. What is the need for all of it? Well, this happens in our life, knowingly, unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, because this is our nature as human beings. Expectations come to us just like that. That's why Krishna is saying try not to have expectations because even if he says that, even if we try to follow, expectations will come into our nature because that is the human nature. It's going to keep coming in. But a time may come to us where we will rise beyond this also. But when we do reach that state, we are going to experience a peace which is divine, which is heavenly, which is going to make us really blissful. We're not going to get disturbed at all by any outcome. It will be a blissful experience of life. But then what about those who say, no, I don't believe what Krishna says. I don't want to follow this principle of detachment. I don't want to follow this giving up of expectations. Then they're going to live like me only. 5 years later, also, I'm thinking, when is my sister going to tell the food is going to be good, was good that time? Because I am going to live with uncertainty always. And this is what happens. Because just wanting a particular outcome does not guarantee it will come. No? Many times you do things right and you expect that this will should come. It will not come. No? It will not come at all. And but my mind is going to be running after desires, desires, desires. A farmer is there close to our unit. He was growing this beautiful sesame seeds. But like everything was going well, and I was going to get some. Again, see, I had expectations, so I was feeling more bad than him about the crop failure. But he, on the other hand, was smiling and laughing despite the crop getting, just too much rain came at the wrong time after the plants had gone to the right height. After that, the rain has come and the plants have fallen down, a very low yield. And I kept watching him for 6 months. I've seen him in the field working at all stages. So when I went and asked him, what is it? And he says, it's okay, it's nature. He says, we have, sometimes nature gives, sometimes does not. This is part of farming. What a beautiful experience of Vairagya from a living example, isn't it? Sometimes I'll get it, sometimes I'll not get it. A business you are doing, why are you going to be tensed at all times? Businessmen, it is going to be sometimes successful, sometimes not. No? Does every businessman have to have anxieties over market fluctuations? I know of some who are very calm and peaceful at all times. It's possible. It's possible in our life also. And that is what Krishna is saying. Don't be found bound. Be focused on your mission, which is realization, which is evolution. Or in one word, if you want, what should be our mission? What should be our purpose? Progress, isn't it? Progress and development of prosperity of our personality. And a very nice word in Hindi. Guruji, my Guruji would always say this when I would be Vyaktitva ka vikas. That should be your only thing. Your personality must become better. Today you know this much, next day you should try to become better. That's all. That is the entire funda of spirituality also. If you are not progressing, you are not on the spiritual path. You are somewhere, you have taken a break, or you're not, you're just sometimes retreating for a while. The progress must happen. Your personality should develop. Facets in your personality which are underdeveloped must start evolving. You must start becoming better. What you don't know, you should start learning and growing. That happens naturally. But for that, you have to be peaceful also. And this greatest peace will come to us only when we have given up our desires for outcomes altogether. So you're calm and peaceful. You're not too excited. Like somebody keeps cursing you, you are useless, you are like this, you have such a bad personality, you always did like this, you always do like that. What happens when you're attached? You become frustrated. Like, how dare this person speaks? Then what will you do? You'll go fight and you'll try to tell logically, explain. See, your statement is wrong because of these facts. But the person is not grounded in truth. They'll keep continuing, isn't it? Instead, you let that go completely. You be how you are. You focus on your growth, focus on your forward progress, forward movement. What's going to happen? Tomorrow, that same individual will say, "Oh, wow, look at this. You have done so good. You were always good. I knew from the beginning that you will do it." That time, what's going to happen to you? You're not going to say, "Oh, thank you. I'm so happy." You'll be like, "Ah, right. You're the same person. I know 5 months ago what you were telling me." Now the things have changed on the outside. So this is a simple principle we must understand. Outcomes are not in our hand. I can aspire, isn't it, to receive some kind of praise. As in, I have a freedom to aspire, but that does not give me any peace, no? Because until I get the praise, I'm not going to be peaceful. And after it comes also, I'll be like, oh, I got only this much. I should have got some more. Why only this was told? Because that is the desired trap. Get become free and we are absolutely at peace. That is what Krishna says. Otherwise, we are obsessed with phantom fruits and their material attractions. That is not wanted at all. So I think with this today's session, we are ready to conclude. Unless anybody wishes to ask or share something, you're welcome. Or we'll just look at some take-home points and conclude. Anybody? Yes, please.
Yes, so for me, today, what I really understood is that it's my birthright that I will get this oneness. But
Yes.
till then, my personal effort is needed and my
Yes.
aspiration is needed, and I will progress, and through my, like, I'll achieve that state of Sthita Prajna, and it has to happen. My faith is like unwavering. So
Yes,
that,
unwavering aspiration.
yeah,
And
but right
we have
now the
been,
effort is needed. My personal
effort is
effort is
needed.
needed. Yeah.
He said, low aim is a crime. So, what should an aim of man be? I want to become divine completely. Tukaram. I want to, like, he's like, I went to see God, didn't know when I became one. That is a beautiful experience. And Tukaram's life was brilliant. It was a brilliant life, a complete life, and a life of full of realizations and Lokasangraha also, exactly in the light of the Gita. So like that, so many people have lived, and I think Shritaji has given a beautiful motto. Like I think after Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Swaraj is my birthright. I think Shritaji's motto is nice. Sakshatkar is mine. Let us try to. I will get it. It is. I shall have it. That is the confidence of a sadhak, indeed. Any other points anybody would like to add, or we conclude after that? Yes, please.
Yeah, the lotus leaf example was very, it was very beautiful. And in such a, said such a deep thing in such a simple example, like, be in the
Yeah.
world, but don't let the world be in
Yes.
you types. Yeah.
Lovely, lovely. Exactly. Padmapatra, Krishna gives that example. Look at it. It's in the water. It's in water and not getting wet. How can that be possible? Well, it is possible through Vairagya, through detachment. And that is the example for us. As Mitaji said, we can be in the world and not let the world enter into us. Absolutely. Abaji is adding something? Yes, Ji.
The word which you uttered about Sinhavalokan. Every
Okay.
time we namaste to the Sinhavalokan, till
Yes,
far
yes, yes.
how much I have reached and what improvement I
Yes,
need
because
to do.
that gives us some kind of insight, isn't it? When you turn back, okay, I've come something like Damliji used to say a beautiful line, much has been done, more remains. That is a beautiful line to always, yes, acha, I have done, more remains. How much more? It's up to the individual. Much has been done, but so much more remains can also be there. So that is something which we have to look, and it is us only. It is we who have to do it. It's not some kind of race we are running in. There's nobody else. It is but us. We have to realize it, and we have to, because it is, we are going through a life experience. Can anybody else say that I'm having a, like my experience is better than your experience of life? Nobody can say that. Each one is living a very unique experience, and in that uniqueness also we are connected, isn't it? So we are all, it's unique means nobody like us, but yet everybody is like each other, yet they are different. So that's a beautiful aspect which has to be analyzed. Gita allows us that freedom. It's like somebody says, how did Krishna make time stop? Study the Gita, you will see suddenly while studying the Gita, you will feel time has stopped. You're able to suddenly look at life in a different perspective. Otherwise, life goes like that only. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, all those go on in life and just too fast. We are too busy. But if you want to have the secret of stopping time, pick up the Bhagavad Gita and introspect on some of the shlokas. Kala will immediately stop at that moment. That is the power of the Gita. So I think with this we are ready to conclude, unless anybody wishes to share something. All right. Let us conclude with the Shanti Mantra. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरि ओम् तत्सत् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्
Hari Om.
हरि ओम्
Hari Om.
नमस्कार
Hari Om.
हरि ओम्
Thank you.
हरि ओम् नमस्कार
Hari Om.
Thank
Namaste.
नमस्ते
Thank
हरि
you.
ओम्
Namaste.
थैंक यू
you.
श्वेता जी has raised the hand yes जी
No, no.
no no fine all
Sorry.
right हरि ओम् नमस्कार